Right, welcome along to Menopause Month. I am talking with Victoria Howell. Victoria, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, hi Emily, thanks for inviting me along. So I'm a menopause and women's health nurse, and I'm based in Norfolk, like yourself.
Exactly.
So I'm a registered nurse and I'm trained in menopause health too. So basically I provide a few different services. So one of them is my Menopause Clinic. Now that is based in South Norfolk, where everything is done socially distant and very safe. We adhere to infection control procedures very well. But also these can be done, the one-to-one consultations could be done via video call as well. So then if people aren't in Norfolk, that's fine. We can still help people. But I also provide menopause talks. So this is really important. So whether it's a women's support group, women's networking, or in the workplace as well. So I provide awareness and support in the workplace because that has to come under their wellbeing umbrella. And I provide training in primary care. So this is aimed at GP surgeries, so they can have menopause education and education on pelvic floor and a few bits more. Because I have coaching background in addition to my nursing, I can also provide confidence in the menopause because, as you know, this is a time when a lot of women, their confidence and self-esteem just goes south, that it just disappears, and that often women just wonder what on earth is happening to them. So it's a case of looking at something holistically and supporting them that way. So with regards, would you like me to talk about the clinic and how a consultation works?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so what we were going to cover off in this session, I thought I'd just quickly clarify that. We're going to talk about how women can get help, specifically with you, but then we're going to go on to a sort of a broader look at it afterwards, aren't we? So first of all, how can people get help from you, and how does it work with you?
Okay, so very much holistically.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do when a woman books with me, I suggest 2 sessions, only 2 sessions. Now, some women prefer to have more, but it's very much down to that individual and how much support that they feel they actually need. Okay, so if it's a case that they want some confidence coaching, that it might go on a little bit longer. So basically, they come to see me and they have their menopause pack and their bag that's behind me. And in the menopause pack, they have a notebook. Why do they have a notebook? Because it's important that they have the resource there so they can write down any tips that are sort of interesting to them when we're going through it. Now, it's very important that we cover consent first. So with any of the experts on the Perimenopause Hub, I'm sure they all have their own consent. So consent for consultation and for storing the data. Okay. Now, what I often do once they're booked, I send them a symptom tracker, which you'll know all about, but this is mine in particular. This is the symptom tracker. There's obviously scope for them to add additional symptoms that they may be experiencing at the time, but they may think, well, is this to do with perimenopause or not? So we can talk about that. So the consultation the initial one lasts 90 minutes. So why does it last 90 minutes? Well, we've all been to see our GP. They're so busy, they're rushed off their feet. You have 10 minutes if you're lucky to come in, tell you what's wrong and get out again. So this is why it's 90 minutes long, okay? So we go through the confidentiality and data sharing, etc. Any particular concerns that they have at the start. And then we go through a medical history, so their medical history, their gynae history, and menstrual history, and obviously family history, because that can very much indicate where things may be going in somebody, all right? We look at any major health issues, any major operations, etc. And then we go through lifestyle factors. All right, because it's if they're working, if they're not working, what external factors they may have impacting on their health, as well as what they are doing to help themselves with regards to exercise, nutrition, hydration, self-care, well-being, etc. And then we go through nutrition and the symptoms. So as we've said, the symptom checker, that is the biggie. So the first few stages that I've just talked through, they can probably take half an hour, 40 minutes. It all depends on an individual's medical history and how complex it has been. And it also you have to take into consideration how they're feeling at the time. Some may want to talk, some may be a little bit more hesitant, but they really want the help. So it's about building that rapport and trust with your client, very much. And then, as I say, the rest of it is largely based on the symptoms and how, are you okay? The symptoms and how it's impacting on people, because it's the symptoms and the impact that can really have a detrimental impact on somebody's well-being, their work, their ability to go to work, etc. And it's there that women have that opportunity to talk about how they're feeling without being rushed, and they can ask questions, and we can just take that time so they're listened to. So that is really, really important. And from that, we will talk through the tracker. So everyone is sent home with a tracker, because the first consultation is 90 minutes. The second consultation, circa 2 months later, is 60 minutes. So it's like a review, just to see how they're getting on, what's worked, what hasn't worked, etc., etc. Okay, so yeah, so that's that. But there's other tools and resources that I may feel is necessary for an individual. For example, anxiety is a biggie in perimenopause. Some people are fortunate enough never to have anxiety in their lives. Some people have not experienced anxiety until they started to be perimenopausal, and that's a bit of a shock because that's all new to them as well. But also it could be somebody who has had anxiety throughout their lives and it's become exacerbated. So there's various tools and techniques that I can share with them to help with that. For example, we have an anxiety reduction tool. So this is a really good tool. So it gives you like the hot thought. So you write down your hot thought, your anxiety on a scale from 0 to 10, okay? So 1 being, it's there, but it's not too bad, or 10 is like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So you write down the hot thought, and then in the next column along, you write down the evidence to support that hot thought. And it's amazing, really, hardly any evidence to support that hot thought. And then you, in the next column along, you write down the actual facts surrounding the reason why you're feeling anxious. You know, it might be something that happened earlier. Quite often people can have a conversation with someone in the day and that's fine. You know, it may be at work, and then they get home and they're making dinner, and all of a sudden they have this whoosh of anxiety, and then they start worrying, what if, and catastrophizing. So it's like writing down the facts. And once you've gone through that, it does help bring that anxiety down to maybe a 2 or 3, to make it far more manageable for that individual. So that's just one of the tools and techniques that we can use. Obviously, I talk through various medications and treatments. Obviously, the NICE guidelines, the first, I'm getting perimenopausal brain again, the first line of advice is HRT. So women are so terrified because of the World Health Initiative research back in 2002. They're still terrified, as are many GPs. about HRT. So it's about expelling those myths and reassuring people, and talking to them about what they may like to do if they would like to start taking HRT, and what would be the best type for them en route, taking into consideration their medical history. And this is why it is really important, anyone seeking any advice with regards to the perimenopause, postmenopause, or any health condition, come to that. It's why it's important to always speak to a professional.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so we know peer support groups are amazing.
Yes. Yeah,
We
absolutely. And we see this every day, don't we, in the hub, that people are asking. I mean, I'm blown away by how candid and honest people are in the hub, and it's wonderful, and they're asking some really, really difficult questions, and the peer support is second to none. Knowing you're not alone is huge, isn't it? But as you say, when it comes to actually making that final decision on what you're going to do, that has to be a decision that takes into account your personal medical history, not just because somebody said that it worked for them. And I know I say this quite often, certainly when it comes to supplements, we can buy them over the counter, so we potentially assume that they're all safe for everybody, and actually that's not true. So again, even with supplements, we need to be speaking to somebody to understand what contraindications there might be with other medications we're taking, with family history and all of that.
Most definitely, Emily, you are absolutely spot on there. Quite often people say they want to go natural. Well, HRT is natural in that we should be having estrogen in our bodies, just like we have thyroxine or insulin that we need if we're deficient in that. So, it is the most natural way to replace that. And obviously we have the health benefits if it's started early enough. We have the health benefits of cardiovascular protection, protection against osteopenia and osteoporosis, and ultimately dementia as well. So you are absolutely right. Peer support groups are brilliant. You have that sense of, oh, thank goodness, someone understands me. I'm not on my own. Okay. But like you say, everybody is individual. We all may be going through the perimenopause, but everybody has different bodies, everybody has different history, different makeup. So it's so important I can't stress that enough, to get medical support.
Absolutely. And this is why in the hub we have such an array of experts, because there is somebody for everybody. If somebody doesn't want to go down the HRT route for personal reasons, for family reasons, for medical reasons, whatever, then there are the experts that they can speak to about other things. If somebody's finding that the hormone changes are bringing up old trauma and they need to sort that out, there are experts for that. If they're wanting to address the whole lifestyle thing and just what on earth is going on, then obviously you are a brilliant first port of call. But it's very personal, and each person has to find the right expert for them. And I think, even if I do say so myself, I think that's the beauty of the hub, is that we have all these different experts. It isn't just a one size fits all, my way or the highway.
Exactly. And it gives the women that opportunity to pick and choose, what's right for them 1 month. They may want something different a few months later, because it has to be holistic. So, for example, they may see a medical person and then they may get that bit fine, but there's other things. So it may be that they need some hypnotherapy, that they need some advice on their skin, that they need a massage, or they need, you have abundance in the hub. But this is the whole point. They can pick and choose what's important for them and what's necessary.
I'm just going to put a little caveat in here. By the way, any ladies watching this, you are worth this. Don't think that you shouldn't be seeking help for your health. Don't think that you need to put everybody else first. You need to put yourself first so that you can help all the others around you. And you do need to get yourself back on tip-top form.
That's a really good tip there, because so many women will not spend money on themselves. They'll put everybody else first. But this is the time in your life when this, you know, you don't have to pay much for the support, but it can really pay long-term dividends for your health in the future. And it's sort of, I don't know, it just, the menopause, yes, we can have all these symptoms and it can be really debilitating to people, but it could also be a time for a positive transition, you know, to take stock and think, oh, I've been hard on myself in this life. Now's time to take things a little bit different and to look at other things, because it can be an amazing time, a very good transitional time to start living more positively.
Absolutely.
And reaping those benefits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a good opportunity to reassess what's going on in your life. Do these things serve me? Do I want these things still in my life? Whether you get very Marie Kondo about it, does this bring me joy or whatever, it doesn't matter how you go through it. But
yeah, right.
Things are persistently bringing you down, the peri-rage will jump up and shout about that at some point, and it is an opportunity to reassess life. And why not? We've still got another 40 years left, hopefully.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. Come on, let's be positive.
I've got to still be skiing when I'm 82. So, you know, it's just a family.
And we'll still be advising people. We'll still be advising people on perimenopause then.
Yeah, we will. Awesome. So I will put the link to you at the end of this video, so that people can work with you if they want to. And obviously over on the website, there's all the details of all the experts so people can find the right person for them. Thank you very much, Victoria.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's loads of experts on the Hub Plus experts, so go for it. Have a look, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.